Aileen Wuornos is undoubtedly America's most infamous female serial killer. However, that is not because of the 7 men she killed, because believe it or not, there have been many female serial killers who killed more than this number, either before or after she got caught. All the attention her case received was because what we all knew about her past life and how she grew up, although most of us only know what we learned from the popular film Monster, starring Charlize Theron. So today, we will divulge into what made Aileen Wuornos a killer, because my personal belief is that killers are made, not born. Many people won't agree with this, but Aileen's story sure does seem to support it. Her story starts when her father committed suicide in prison. Aileen's father was actually a convicted sex offender, and he hung himself in prison when she was only 13. Her mother had already abandoned her at this point, and Aileen was living with her grandparents. Only a year later, her grandmother died of liver failure, and according to Aileen, her grandfather had been beating and raping her long before this. At 15, she got pregnant with her grandfather's friend's baby, who allegedly raped her, and she had the baby at a place for unwed mothers. Soon after, her grandfather left her in the woods, so she had no choice but to give her baby up for adoption. She then turned to a life of crime to get by. Her first marriage. Aileen was only 20 when she married a 69-year-old man named Louis Fell. It seems that she was tired of petty theft, prostitution, and wanted to get out of this life. However, it didn't last long, as her husband filed for a restraining order against her, and she filed for annulment after only 9 weeks of marriage. Only a few months after, her brother died because of cancer, and left her $10,000 as an insurance policy. However, the money only lasted her a few months, as she wasted most of it on buying a luxury car and wrecking it soon after. And so she turned to petty theft soon after the money was gone. She was even arrested for an armed robbery when she stole $35 and a pack of cigarettes. And another time when one of her customers told the police that she had pulled a gun on him. Her life changed for the worse after 1987. She actually met Tyria Moore in 1987, who was a hotel maid, and moved in with her, who later became her partner in crime for most of the murders. Her first victim was Richard Mallory, 51, who was a convicted sex offender and who she shot several times. He was later found in the woods. She claims that she shot him in self-defense. However, she started a spree of killings soon after. Her second victim was David Spears, 43, who she shot 6 times and left his nude body in Florida State Road 19. Her third victim was Charles Carskadon, 40, and his body was found in Pasco County, riddled with 9 bullets. Peter Seams, 65, was her fourth victim, as she and Moore were seen abandoning his car. However, his body was never found. Her fifth victim was Troy Burris, 50. He was shot 2 times and left for dead in Marion County. Charles Dick Humphrey was her sixth victim, and he was actually a former child abuse investigator. She shot him 6 times and abandoned his car in Suwannee County. Her seventh and last victim was Gino Antonio, 62, and he was a security guard. He had been shot 4 times, and his body was found in Dixie County. Her stories always changed. Sometimes she would say that it was self-defense. Sometimes she would admit to cold murder. I robbed them, and I killed them cold as ice, and I would do it again, and I know I would kill another person because I've hated humans for a long time. Aileen was actually arrested when she got involved in a fight in a biker bar. It didn't take long before Moore flipped on her and told the police everything to get herself immunity. Moore even made calls to Aileen in prison in hopes of getting a confession from her, which the police did after several calls from Moore. Her life in prison wasn't much better to what she had experienced before. She believed that all the prison inmates were plotting against her, and she would regularly go on hunger strikes, fearing that the staff was sitting in her food. Because of all her paranoia, she defended herself in court, which did not end well for her, and she was sentenced to death on January 16, 1992. 10 years went by, and her mental health had only worsened by then. She was declared a psychopath. She directly asked the court in 2001 to hurry her sentence because of all the abuse she was suffering in prison. The following is what she had to say in a document that she sent to the court. "I'm so sick of hearing this she's crazy stuff. I've been evaluated so many times. I'm competent, sane, and I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm one who seriously hates human life and would kill again. She was soon granted her wish, as she was injected with a lethal injection on June 6, 2002. It seemed that she had accepted her fate by then and was happy to go. The following is what she had to say in her last interview. "I'd just like to say, I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th like the movie, big mothership and all. I'll be back."